today was the day, you know? Play with fire, sometimes happen.
In a recent training session, Mike Tyson reportedly lost control, leading to an intense and nearly physical altercation with his coach. The legendary boxer, known for his fierce temperament and unmatched intensity, was in the middle of a rigorous training regimen when things took a turn. As tensions escalated, Tyson's frustration seemed to boil over, nearly resulting in a confrontation with his coach. While the situation was eventually diffused, it has sparked concern among fans and observers about Tyson's state as he prepares for his upcoming bout against Jake Paul. Tyson's preparation for his return to the ring has been characterized by intense focus and a determination to recapture his former glory. However, the incident suggests that the pressures of training may be taking a toll on the former heavyweight champion. Known for his explosive power and aggression in the ring, Tyson has always been a complex figure, with his ferocity often spilling over into his personal life and training sessions.
I had the right hand. Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Hip across. Hip across. Hip across and then roll.
The near altercation with his coach is reminiscent of Tyson's earlier days, when his training camps were often marred by similar incidents. His raw intensity, while a key factor in his success, has also been a double-edged sword, leading to moments of volatility that have sometimes threatened to derail his career. This latest incident is a reminder of the challenges Tyson faces as he attempts to make a comeback at the age of 58. The question now is whether Tyson can channel his aggression and intensity in a positive direction, or if these outbursts will become a recurring issue as he continues his preparations. His coach, who has been with him throughout this training camp, will need to carefully manage Tyson's emotions to ensure that he remains focused and on track for his upcoming fight. The incident has undoubtedly added an extra layer of intrigue to Tyson's comeback, with fans eager to see how he will perform in the ring after such a dramatic moment in training.
There you go. Don't be ahead after the last punch, dude. Yeah. Again, get out of there. Get out of there.
Amid growing concerns over Mike Tyson's health, particularly due to his recent battle with ulcers and his 58th birthday milestone, the combat sports community is increasingly anxious. Many fear that stepping into the ring against the problem child this November could carry significant risks for the legendary boxer. Jake Paul told TMZ Sports earlier this week that there are no current plans for a backup fighter if Tyson fails to make the ring walk again, leaving everyone, except Paul himself, without a contingency plan. He said, "I don't have concerns, he's doing great. He's super healthy behind the scenes and feeling great. That's what we're focused on, and there's not a backup currently. A pro fight means war, and I don't take it lightly. You can get seriously hurt or injured in there, so if you're not there to go to war, then you should just get out." Despite reassurances from Paul, Tyson, and the promoters, numerous combat sports experts, including UFC commentator Joe Rogan, argue that the boxing match shouldn't take place at all. "I wish he didn't do it. I wish it wasn't a thing," he told UFC welterweight champion Bilal Muhammad on the latest episode of the JRE podcast. Rogan added, "I wish it wasn't a thing where a 58-year-old guy was going to fight a 28-year-old. That said, I fully support his desire to do it. What is he going to live forever? No, he's not going to live forever. And maybe he wants one more shot at it. Maybe his body can do one more fight." Although Rogan acknowledged that the legendary boxing champion continues to dazzle fans globally with his skill on the training mitts, he emphasized that it's a far cry from the intensity of a complete training session. He said, "He looks great on the mitts, but it's like I can look good on the mitts, especially if you're watching 30-second clips. What you want to see is him sparring or hitting the bag for multiple rounds. I want to see how your feet move, if you're off balance when you throw combinations." Rogan then added, "But he's 58. I love that guy. I'm a gigantic fan of his." The question is, how much does he have left today? 58 today is not 58 when I was 21. It's a different 58, and especially if they're not testing it. Even with lingering concerns about Tyson's health, both the seasoned commentator and the welterweight champion affirmed their readiness to witness the unfolding drama on November 15th. Rogan said, "How much does he want to do? Is he doing it for money? How much does he have left in the tank? Those are all questions that'll make me buy the PPV. I'm going to feel bad if he gets knocked out." Conventional wisdom would say that this is a terrible fight. Conventional wisdom would say there's a 28-year-old with knockout power, real fast, young, athletic, and bold as Up to now, Mike Tyson has provided no indication that he won't be at his peak on fight day. Although initial postponements were linked to issues with an ulcer, he's since been notably active. Tyson has been sharing updates from his training sessions and making appearances at various events, suggesting he's in prime condition for the highly anticipated match in November. Despite his age being a significant factor, Tyson has requested specific adjustments for this bout to level the playing field against an opponent 30 years his junior. The match will feature shorter rounds, designed to prompt both fighters to increase their intensity. This adjustment aims to deter Paul from adopting a passive strategy early on, hoping to exhaust the veteran before engaging in serious combat. Nonetheless, professional boxing is inherently demanding, and only time will reveal how Tyson's stamina will hold up during the fight. Mike Tyson exudes confidence in his ability to emerge victorious, a testament to his storied career as one of boxing's all-time greats. However, the real question on everyone's mind is whether his illustrious past can match up to the challenge posed by Jake Paul. Some, such as actor Russell Crowe, might prefer not to find out. Regardless, the anticipation remains palpable as we await to see how this potential bout unfolds and whether it will actually come to fruition. The notion that Mike Tyson would knock him out was dismissed by Jake Paul. He said, "Mike is big and beefy and thick and strong. Francis Ngannou actually said that he thinks Mike's gonna knock me out, which is funny. But I do have to be careful in the early rounds because Mike has that crazy punching power." Tyson stands out as the most accomplished boxer Paul has faced to date. Known as Iron Mike, this former heavyweight champion boasts 44 knockout victories. Despite being 58 years old, Tyson still possesses the power to drop an opponent with a single, precise punch. Tyson's last professional fight took place almost 20 years ago in 2005, and the 31-year age difference between him and Paul will set a new record as the largest ever in a sanctioned bout. Although Tyson's training videos provide some hope, he may appear slower and less effective when facing a younger opponent in the ring. That legendary knockout power seems to have faded as well. It makes sense that there has been criticism of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson's impending boxing battle. Among those voices was Eddie Hearn. During the promotion of Saturday's super middleweight clash between Diego Pacheco and Maciej Solecki, the Matchroom boss didn't mince words when addressing why he believes Mike Tyson shouldn't step into the ring this November. He said, "What on earth are we doing? I'm lucky enough to have a business where we don't need to do that, and I never will do that. Anyone that thinks that Tyson should be in the ring right now either doesn't have his best interests at heart or is an idiot." In 1986, Mike Tyson claimed his first heavyweight title, and more than 3 decades later, in 2020, he stepped back into the ring for a nostalgic bout against fellow veteran Roy Jones Jr. The exhibition, which ended in a split draw, came over 15 years after Tyson had originally hung up his gloves, marking a subdued return for the once dominant Iron Mike. The competition, initially set for July 20th, was delayed when the 58-year-old experienced an ulcer flare-up during a trip from Miami to Los Angeles. Hearn said, "Mike Tyson left the sport of boxing, which was, 20 years ago? I don't know. Something like that? You honestly think that a fighter that was shot to pieces 20 years ago should now be coming back?" The fact that Tyson is being paired with a social media influencer with limited boxing experience does not make his return any more palatable for Hearn. He said, "I know he is only fighting Jake Paul, but it doesn't matter. Jake Paul's a powerful kid. He trains every day. He can punch." Hearn finds Tyson's return all the more unbearable given that he is teamed with a social media personality who has never boxed before. He added, "I know he is only fighting Jake Paul, but it doesn't matter. Jake Paul's a powerful kid. He trains every day. He can punch." Hearn's take on Tyson versus Paul may come across as harsh, but one thing it isn't is inconsistent. When the fight was first revealed back in March, the promoter described it as very sad, yet acknowledged its draw for audiences beyond the dedicated boxing community. "It's a big event. I understand people are going to watch it and it's entertainment, I guess. But for someone that idolized the guy growing up, yeah, not the best day," he told Fight Hub TV. Hearn is well acquainted with the celebrity-infused side of boxing, a space this fight comfortably fits into. Back in 2019, Matchroom orchestrated the highly publicized bout between Logan Paul, Jake's elder brother, and fellow YouTube star KSI. Hearn has stayed with the more respectable side of pugilism ever since. I get the business. I'm not criticizing them, but for me, no thank you. Not in a million years," he said. Mike Tyson, the legendary heavyweight champion famous for his aggressive style and storied career, has never been one to back down from a challenge. When Floyd Mayweather recently criticized Jake Paul's choice to face Tyson in the ring, labeling it disrespectful and doubting Paul's preparedness, Tyson wasted no time in responding. He hit back at Mayweather's remarks, making it clear where he stands on the issue.
Down that pipe, see that man right there controlling the camera?
This guy right here?
Yeah, right down that pipe. Tell people who are out there saying we think Mike's too old for this fight. Tell them what you think about that.
If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come tell me in my face.
Whoa.
You won't.
Tyson, gearing up intensely for his bout against Jake Paul, wasted no time firing back at Mayweather's comments. In a heated interview, Tyson, clearly annoyed by the critique, firmly told Mayweather to mind his own business. He emphasized that, having spent his entire life in the ring facing top opponents and overcoming countless challenges, no one had the authority to decide who he could or couldn't face.
Like, Floyd's a great fighter, don't get me wrong. Yeah. He had 50 fights, and he said, listen, Sugar Ray Robinson had 47 fights. He lost one, then he had 78 fights. Then he had a 78-fight winning streak.
Yeah, but you even
he had 47, lost one, and 78 winning streak.
But even more
like
modern than that.
Knockouts.
Look at Julio Cesar Chavez. He was 84-0, right?
89, 90 and 0 before he lost.
89 and 0. Wow. So
don't tell me about you the greatest fighter with 50 and 0, nigga. You're great, no doubt about it, nigga. 50 and 0. Chavez had 90.
Yeah.
He's fighting like what, 8 times a year.
Yeah, it's more to it than
whoever fought him. Whoever's in the rankings.
Well, I think it's all subjective.
Picking whoever you are, come on.
I think there are more metrics and more measurements that have to be.
Tyson stressed that the choice to face Jake Paul wasn't made casually. He recognized Paul's commitment to rigorous training and his boldness in challenging one of boxing's most intimidating figures. Tyson highlighted Paul's hard work and bravery, stepping into a fight few would ever consider. He also pointed out how simple it is to criticize from a distance, remarking that Mayweather, with all his experience, should refrain from judging without fully appreciating the effort it takes to prepare for such a fight. Tyson seized the chance to stand up for Jake Paul in response to Mayweather's critiques, commending Paul for taking on real contenders in the boxing. He noted that many were quick to judge Jake due to his past, but Tyson firmly stated that Paul's commitment to the sport was genuine, not a mere publicity stunt. In Tyson's view, Jake was constantly in training, putting in the work and honing his skills, which merited acknowledgement. He stressed that the true measure of a fighter was their heart, and Jake had proven he was willing to risk it all, far beyond what most of his detractors could claim. Tyson looked back on his own rookie days in boxing, remembering the skepticism he encountered at the start of his career. He emphasized that Paul possessed true grit and highlighted that every champion has humble beginnings. Tyson stressed that the bravery required to enter the ring should always be recognized and valued.
What does it mean when fighting gets you erect? What does that mean?
It's a good question. It means you're getting excited.
Yeah.
So that's going through your mind right now.
Well, that's how I get when I was a kid, and sometimes I get the twinkle.
Tyson was unrestrained in his confrontation with Mayweather, directly questioning his viewpoints and underlying motives. He implied that Mayweather's penchant for grandiose claims masked a tendency to avoid serious competition, opting instead for less demanding exhibitions. Tyson, on the other hand, emphasized that he continued to embrace genuine challenges, showing no interest in settling for easy victories or merely chasing paydays. He suggested that Mayweather's critiques seemed more focused on safeguarding his personal reputation than on authentic concern for the sport. Tyson reminded Mayweather that boxing transcends any single individual, even himself, declaring that his motivation was not to win approval but to fight and continually push his limits. Tyson dared Mayweather to return to the ring if he had any disagreements. With the clash between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul approaching, Tyson's passionate response to Mayweather has only amplified the buzz. Enthusiasts are on edge, wondering if Tyson, at 58, can still unleash the raw power and ferocity that marked his heyday. On the other hand, Jake Paul, driven by the need to validate himself, is undaunted by the skepticism and is pushing his training to the limit for what might be the toughest bout of his career.
This question is for Jake. Obviously, Mike is one of the biggest hitters that the heavyweight division has ever seen. I just want to know, when you're thinking about his power, he looks very ferocious on Instagram, especially still. Do you feel like you'll be able to take Mike Tyson's power at this stage?
I know I will be able to. I'm a natural born heavyweight. This is what I was born to do, is to move up into this weight class, and I'm going to show Mike who has the more power, because he's underestimating me. I think everyone else is underestimating me, and I believe that I hit harder. I know it's going to be tough. I know I'm going to have to fight through adversity. I know I might even go to the canvas. I'm scared, don't get me wrong, but it's not about the fear stopping me. It's about going into it even though I am scared, and that's what true bravery is.
Mike, can he take the power, Mike?
Excuse me?
Can Jake take your power?
We're gonna see, huh?
Tyson's reply to Mayweather underscores that, even with the passage of time, his fighting spirit remains unyieldingly fierce. Mayweather's critiques may have unintentionally ignited a fire within Tyson, propelling him to deliver a performance that could stun the world once more. With the stage now set and Tyson's words resonating strongly, fans should brace themselves for a spectacle that promises to be truly unforgettable. When it comes to the most formidable fighters ever to step into the ring, Mike Tyson's name is undeniably central to the discussion. Despite his transition to a more easygoing persona in recent years, Tyson's commanding aura continues to send shivers through fans, even as he approaches his late 50s. With the excitement mounting for his upcoming bout against YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul, the media frenzy has reached new heights. UFC commentator Joe Rogan has openly expressed his support for Tyson, but a legendary UFC fighter remains skeptical about how the fight will play out. Initially set for July, the eagerly awaited clash between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul has been rescheduled to November due to health issues faced by the iconic ex-heavyweight champion. The delay has ignited extensive debate, further fueled by Joe Rogan's commentary. Now, Chael Sonnen has entered the conversation, questioning the validity of Rogan's predictions. As a dedicated enthusiast of combat sports and a former advocate for the UFC while expressing admiration for boxing in an ESPN interview, Joe Rogan is undoubtedly well-positioned to offer insights on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul bout. Yet, his bold prediction of a victory for Iron Mike, despite Tyson approaching his 60s, has left Chael Sonnen questioning the basis of Rogan's confident forecast. Joe Rogan does make a statement. He says Mike Tyson, even at 58 years old, will still knock your head into the third realm. I don't know what evidence Joe has of that. That seems very lofty, Chael Sonnen said on his YouTube channel. Much like Dana White, Joe Rogan believes that Mike Tyson retains a puncher's chance due to his enduring power. In contrast, Chael Sonnen contends that such claims are unfounded and lack scientific validation. Chael Sonnen added, "The threat in the belief that just one punch and the last thing to go is their power. There's no scientific proof that the last thing to go within a fighter's skill set is his power. There is nothing quantifiable. That is just an expression that is put out." Despite skepticism from figures such as Chael Sonnen regarding Mike Tyson's readiness to face Jake Paul, the iconic boxer seems to have reached his limit. In retaliation, Iron Mike delivered a stern warning to those doubting his chances against the YouTuber-turned-fighter. At a recent press conference, Mike Tyson was visibly tense when reporters started questioning his health. However, during his latest appearance on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast, Tyson issued a powerful rebuttal to his critics across the globe. He lauded Paul as a killer and voiced his belief in Paul's potential for greatness. With his trademark fervor, Tyson boldly challenged anyone who doubted him to step up and face him directly. "If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come and tell me in my face," said Mike Tyson, while giving a death stare to one of the cameras. For a fleeting instant, it seemed as though the boxing icon had lost his composure, but the unease vanished almost as swiftly as it appeared, and the podcast concluded with everyone grinning. Nonetheless, seeing Tyson fully immersed in fight mode is undeniably disconcerting. This matchup ignites debate like few before it, featuring Tyson, still the youngest heavyweight champion in history, now at 58 and out of the ring for almost 2 decades. In contrast, Paul, with a significant edge in youth and active fighting experience, stands as a formidable opponent. Despite his limited experience compared to Tyson, Paul's 3-decade youth advantage and his recent performances against retired MMA fighters and a select few boxers, including his sole loss to Tommy Fury in 11 fights, highlight his unique position. The much-anticipated match, a revolutionary event set to be streamed live on Netflix, will unfold over 8 rounds, each spanning 2 minutes, with both competitors donning 14-ounce gloves. Yet, the ongoing concerns about Iron Mike's health, which have already pushed back the original timetable, remain a hot topic of debate within the boxing world. Coach Robert Garcia, renowned for his work with 2-time heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua and his current training of pound-for-pound star Jesse Rodriguez, recently told ES News that it's ludicrous to think Tyson could execute one of his trademark highlight reel knockouts. He said, "There's no way. It's like people saying Mike Tyson's gonna go out and knock Jake Paul out. Mike Tyson lost 20 years ago to bums. He lost in real fights to bums, maybe more than 20 years ago because he's 60. Garcia has consistently argued that no regulatory authority should allow the bout to continue beyond the status of an exhibition. In 2005, after suffering a knockout defeat to Danny Williams the year before, Tyson abruptly left his corner during a match against Ireland's Kevin McBride, who had an April 1st 32 record at the time. Tyson, who had already employed some dubious tactics, appeared noticeably disinterested. Post-fight, he stated that the bout had taken a heavy toll on him, signaling the conclusion of his professional career. Tyson is still renowned as one of the most formidable punchers in boxing history. Despite the outcry from some critics who have berated Paul and his team for accepting the fight with Tyson, Joe Rogan argues that Tyson retains the ability to send Paul's head into another dimension with a precisely delivered blow. In a recent episode of the Funky and the Champ podcast, Cormier addressed Rogan's comments about Tyson's chances of winning over Paul. He said, "I understand that, and I get what he's saying, and I do agree when he's hitting pads. It looks like there's still something left in there, but then I watched Jake Paul fight Mike Perry. I watched Jake Paul get pressed to where he starts to feel uncomfortable, and it looked like Mike Perry had a chance. But then Jake has a reserve tank to go to and get and draw from because he's 28 years old. In the ring, Mike Tyson is renowned for delivering punches that leave his opponents feeling as if they've been branded by his blows. His bouts often transform into a violent spectacle dominated by his relentless aggression, each strike resonating with an earth-shattering force. Yet, as Tyson prepares to face Jake Paul, will this match adhere to his typical brutal narrative? It seems that one of Tyson's close associates is holding out hope for a departure from the ferocious patterns of his heyday. At the age of 58, Tyson made a notable appearance on Logan Paul's podcast. The discussion covered a range of topics, from their shared experiences in WWE to their boxing careers and Tyson's forthcoming match against Logan's younger sibling. Despite the doubts surrounding Tyson's age and the potential decline in his reflexes, both fans and analysts still acknowledge his remarkable knockout prowess. The prospect of the problem child ending up on the mat remains a real possibility, though it's one that Tyson's friend hopes will never come to pass. When asked about his team's thoughts on his match with Paul, the fighter boasting a 50-6 record shared a story from a recent phone call with a friend. Tyson disclosed that his friend had expressed worry about the potential harm he might inflict on his opponent. He said, "My friend called me. Don't hurt him, Mike. You better do that." Naturally, the elder of the Paul brothers, Logan, puzzled, asked, "Wait, what? Your friend is vouching for Jake?" Baddest man on planet continued and reaffirmed it. He added, "Yeah, but he said, don't hurt him. He's a YouTuber. Don't hurt him, Mike. He's in the ring with me." What the are you talking about? The boxing community is divided on the approach Tyson should take for his upcoming fight. Should he unleash everything for a clear-cut victory, or adopt a more strategic approach to preserve his energy? Adding to the complexity are doubts about the Brooklyn native's health, his sciatica, recent hip surgery, and overall endurance. On the other side, Tyson's opponent, despite boasting a 10-1 record, has yet to prove himself against elite competition. Nevertheless, Tyson is approaching this bout with the highest level of seriousness. Tyson also shed light on how he saw Paul, and Iron Mike is not underestimating it. He admitted, "I look at him as a killer. That's how I look at him. That's why I got to get him before he gets too good." In addition, Tyson also addressed the fans' criticism of his age and putting his record on the line. He declared, "If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come tell me in my face." On November 15th, it remains to be seen if Tyson will go in for the kill or show his opponent some respect in the ring. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.